Howdy. So what are equivalent fractions? You hear equivalent fractions, you hear that term all the time in math class. They are super useful. You really need to understand what equivalent fractions are. So if I have my rectangle here, maybe it's a candy bar, and I'm going to break it in half. So I've got 1/2, right? Half a candy bar. So what is a fraction that's equivalent to 1/2? That means it's equal. It's going to be the same amount. So I'm going to copy this picture, and I'm going to paste a new one right underneath. See, the exact same amount. If this were a candy bar, you'd still have half a candy bar. But if I break it up into more pieces, let's say fourths. If I break this into fourths, now I have 2/4, but I still have exactly the same amount, right? The green part of that fraction is the same thing. They are equal. So those are equivalent fractions, just different names for the same exact fraction. And of course, you can just keep breaking this into smaller and smaller pieces if you want to. It'll still be equivalent. There's my fourths. I'll draw another line through this and make them, what do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4 green pieces, 8 total pieces. 4/8 is also equivalent to 1/2. So if you don't have the picture handy, you can always multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the same number, and you get that equivalent fraction. So I do the 1 times 2 and the 2 times 2, I get 2/4. They're equivalent. 2/4, well, I'm doing 2's again. Now I get 4/8, which is that other equivalent fraction. Now you don't have to multiply. You can find an equivalent fraction by dividing. You still have to divide by the same two numbers. In this case, I'm dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I'm back to 1/2. There's that original fraction. That, by the way, is called simplifying or reducing. Now, we did small numbers like 2's and 4's, but I can do anything. Like if I took this 1/2 and multiplied both the numerator and denominator by 50, I would get 50 hundredths. And now I can think of it as a decimal, because 50 hundredths is also written 0.50. 50 hundredths, which would be $1/2, right? 50 cents is $1/2. So there you go, equivalent fractions. Have a good day. Bye-bye.